One thing I've learned over the years, just from watching media and studying media around the world and looking at current events from different perspectives, what we hear in America is not necessarily the entire story. And I'll give the example of the tariffs. Now, we all know Trump has these tariffs, and, we're trying to do whatever. You fill in the blank, but we're trying to do something with these tariffs. Now, what we don't hear is how these other countries are reacting to our tariffs. And I'm going to include a link to a story. But you have to remember the US is what, 350 million people, and the rest of the world is 8 billion people. So for some reason, Americans, and I'm in America too, we tend to think the world revolves around us, but there's a whole lot of world out there that does not involve us. And for example, with these tariffs, China is opening up their markets even more to other countries. So basically, instead of just trying to sell to America their products, China is opening up their businesses to accept products from other countries so they can bypass American tariffs. In other words, these countries will be trading amongst each other outside of America. And when they do that, this is the kicker. When they do that, they'll be trading in their own currencies, not using the US dollar. See, this is the part they're not telling you. And remember, look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. The US is 350 million people. The rest of the world is about 8 billion people. If they trade amongst each other, that is going to really cripple the American economy because they will not be using US dollars. It's very important that we look at the big picture and not just look at it from our perspective. Have to look at it in all aspects, and then we have to frame our judgments or opinions accordingly. The world is slowly moving away from the United States and using the US dollar. And I've said this a million times. If the popularity of the dollar decreases or its use, then its purchasing power will decrease, then inflation will increase. People need to pay attention to what's really going on and really start to heed the warnings. The US is in serious trouble and the world is moving away from the dollar.